Well, thank you so much to Rob Byrne for that traffic update. A final look now at your sport news for today. Now, the Telkom Netball League, Africa's largest franchise netball competition, officially, of course, got underway on the 26th of April with Power Week 1 out at the Sun City Superbowl in the Northwest Province. That, of course, being officially confirmed as the host of this year's edition. Now, the SPAR Baby Proteas, as well as invitational side from Zimbabwe, will also be part of the competition. We, of course, are heading into Power Week 2, which gets underway from the 13th. To talk about this year's competition, we've roped in Boitumelo Mahloko, who plays for the Gauteng Golden Fireballs. A very good morning to you on this very cold Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us in studio.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Boitumelo, before we talk about Power Week 2 and what the expectations are, from your vantage point, what did you make of Power Week 1 out in April and May?
Power Week 1, definitely compared to the other Telkom Netball competitions we've had, was definitely on a different intensity. You know, all the teams came out. There was no team that you can point out like this would be a weaker one compared to the other. Usually we'd have like a definite top 4. As we can see now, the top 4 is very hectic. Everybody's still fighting for that spot, and anything is still possible. So definitely the intensity this year was on a different level, and to be around all these players was good. You know, everybody has taken up their game up a notch, which is good for the competition.
You speak about the intensity of the competition. When you look at the standard and the quality of the competition, how would you say that looks like from your point of view? Because we've seen not all players can play in professional leagues overseas, but when these players that play in TNL come across their other teammates who play national team, they are able to keep up.
They are, you know, the standard is definitely very high, and I think everybody is just in a position where they're taking their own netball game serious, which is good to see, you know, so that we all stay on the same level. It's also good to be around people that have been exposed to the international side of netball, because people do come back with that information and are able to give that to a team, and you can see from that the standard of playing gets elevated. You know, to be amongst teams where also the SPAR Proteas are included this year is really good. You can see it, it's good for the competition, but everybody gets included because, you know, nobody gets left on the pathway. We take everybody with us, which is really good to see.
Talking about no one getting left on the pathway, we look at the Free State Crinums, currently the defending champions. But as you've said, every team is fighting. Who are your favorites this time around? Who are you looking at and saying, although it may still be very close in these initial stages, these are my top 2 favorites to go all the way to the final?
You know, to be honest, in previous years I would have had an answer to that, but this year I'm genuinely like, every team is a team you plan for, every team is a team you sit and you're like, this is going to be tough. You know, looking at Power Week 1, there was no huge gap between, for example, us playing with any other team. Every score was in between 5-4 goals, which just shows the standard of netball. There is no team that you can point out, and like I mentioned earlier, that it's tough. Like, the top 4 is not even determined right now. You know, every team we go out right now, as we prepare for Power Week 2, we are prepared for any team, and we know every team is going to come for us, you know, because everybody, like I said, is fighting for the top 4 spot.
Now, as a netball player that has played netball at every single level for South Africa, from under 16 moving on, when you look at the state of netball in South Africa right now, how do you feel?
I'm proud to see that, you know, from when I started to where it is now, you know, to see brands and sponsors like Telkom Netball League being involved in this. It gives netball such a big platform to just not only play netball, but to expose us to the other sides of netball. I think everybody thinks that netball is about what you do on court, but when you are supported well, even off court, that's where the standard improves on court. So it's really, really good to see that women's sports is just being supported the way it is. And as you can see at the Telkom Netball League, every year it gets better. The standard gets better. The support gets better from all our sponsors. So it's really good to see, and to see everybody embrace it more than anything.
I love what you say, because it's nice to see women's sport being given and put on the pedestal that it deserves so much. As we look now and start wrapping, we look at the fact that you've got the Baby Proteas participating this time around. We've got Zimbabwe, the likes of Zambia. How important would you say this is building up to the Gibraltar Youth World Cup, where we are all hoping South Africa can push through and get all the way to the end?
It's really good. You know, when I was still playing for the Baby Proteas, unfortunately unfortunately, we didn't get the chance to eventually compete because of COVID, but we also had a chance to compete in the Telkom Netball League, and I can tell you it did a lot for us. Our preparation was good, because the standard of netball right now is so high amongst the teams in the Telkom Netball League. It's great preparation for the SPAR Proteas. You want to give them a platform where it's not easy, and I'm glad they're playing like in the Division 1, for example, where these are the top teams, and this is exactly what they're gonna play against, So I'm happy to see that opportunity be given to the SPAR Proteas. I'm backing them 100%. I know they're gonna win. Like, I already see a gold medal for South Africa, and with the inclusion of Zimbabwe being in the Telkom Netball League, it gives us a different style to play against. Every country has its own sense of style, and we know South Africa have their own unique style, but so does Zimbabwe. So us being exposed to that, we are better prepared going into like your African championships, for example, and it's a good opportunity for them. They do not really have much competition in their own country or opportunity to prepare for their own, own competitions. And, we, at the end of the day, we all African, and it's really good to see us give them an opportunity to be in our league and to see them play the way they play. And they are a really tough team to play against.
Now, when we come to the TNL, it's always very interesting for me when we get to those awards at the end of the TNL season. Yeah. When you've looked at the players so far up until now, who do you think are some of those players that are really just putting up their hands and saying, I want to walk away out of this tournament with some accolades?
To be honest, like, I'm not one that really pays attention to those things. I always say, like, I play netball, or I see netball as an opportunity to just gel with your team. But really, if I can speak from my team specifically, there's a lot of people putting their hand up. Like, for example, Owethu Ngubane, she's had a huge impact for her team. She's leading the scoreboard with the super shots. So much growth, I've been with her in a couple of teams, the SPAR Proteas, the UJ, and to see her growth and her confidence show up is really good to see. We have your big players like your Jamie van Wyk from the Jaguars. Her defense has always been solid. We have Tale Mate in our own team, doing so much work for us on the midcourt. Cornelia Mupenda, our fellow Namibian player that is on the Fireballs team, which I'm very happy about. She's having a huge impact for us there at the back. So many players that are saying I'm here, and I mean, I could keep naming, right? But it's tough. It's tough. Anybody can really get it. Just as last year I was like, geez, anybody was going for it. And it's good to see that the competition is so tight.
Boitumelo, such a lovely chat with you this morning. We look forward to the second part of the TNL, and all the best to your team.
Thank you so much.
Boitumelo Mahloko, they're joining us, talking all things the Telkom Netball League, which of course the second part of it gets underway from Friday the 13th.